So in this video, I'm going to be revealing why all of your product tests are flopping and how elite dropshippers are taking the exact same products and using this new ad creative format to scale to 5 and 6 figures per month, all while you churn through products and stores and hop from one product research method to the next, chasing your next quote unquote winner. And this is the exact creative testing format and frameworks that I'm teaching my students, and the exact frameworks that guys like Amazing Chest have used to scale within less than 30 days to over $25,000 per month profitably from complete scratch, even if you have no experience. So if you stick around to this end of this video, I'm going to be teaching you this exact creative format step by step. And it's a 3-step format that you can start implementing and testing out today to start increasing your success rate with product tests and scaling profitably. So make sure you stick around into the end. And without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. So this creative format that I'm going to be going over, before we do, it's really important to understand what makes a good creative. And understanding what makes a good ad and how to create them is the single highest leverage skill that you can learn as a dropshipper. Because we have no control over product quality and content, understanding how to leverage existing content and then sell people your products through it is critical to building a successful dropshipping business. Now, in short, your creative is going to determine 4 things. Firstly, who you're targeting. Secondly, the type of customer we bring to our store. Thirdly, how much traffic your site gets. And then lastly, how well you persuade a stranger to buy your product. So the creative is really the most critical element in building a successful dropshipping business. And so understanding what it actually does and the function of the creative is critical to knowing, okay, how can I actually make a good creative or effective creative? So knowing that it controls these 4 things, we then get into what I've called the sales framework. And every high converting ad creative can be divided into these 3 constituent elements. And this is essentially the sales framework. You could think of this as if you've ever taken an agency course, you have a sales script, then this is going to be that equivalent. And no matter what, every high converting ad can be divided into these 3 parts. So we have the hook, the body, and then the close. So let me zoom out a little bit here. All right, so we have the hook, the body, and the close. So the hook is basically getting their attention. Then we have the body, which is them showing them a product, explaining what it does, things like that. And then the close is obviously asking them to then buy the product. So you can think of this as the 3 main elements of every single creative. And regardless of the creative, every single video ad, or at least high converting and effective video ad that you'll find in the ad library or on TikTok, can in some way, shape, or form be divided into these 3 parts. Now, let's go over the hook. So the hook is the most critical aspect of your creative because it determines whether or not people even watch your video. You can think of this as like a thumbnail for a YouTube video, and how Mr. Beast is always talking about the importance of thumbnails, because without getting someone's attention, it doesn't matter what you have in the rest of the creative. You can have the best creative in the world, and if the hook is not compelling enough and no one's watching it, it literally does not matter. So the hook is the most critical aspect. And you can imagine that your ads are being delivered to people who are under psychotic hypnosis. They are just completely brain dead. No disrespect to anyone who is on these platforms, but the truth is it's called doom scrolling for a reason. Okay, so their brains are not active. That voice crack was just absolutely shattering right there. But they're looking for that next dopamine hit. And so the hook is responsible for pattern interrupting your audience. And a pattern interrupt, quite simply put, is a way to alter a person's mental, emotional, or behavioral state to break their typical habits. So doom scrolling is a habit. They're going on the platform and they are literally just scrolling. And the pattern interrupt is to take them out of that typical habit, that unconscious behavior that they're doing, and then to focus that attention onto what we have to say in the form of our creative. So you really need a compelling and visually intriguing visual and or auditory scenes to intrigue people's mind. So think about ways you can compel someone to think, wait, what? What's going on here? Or I want to see what happens next. Now, it's crucial that your hook also be related to the problem or desire your product solves. So you don't want to be attention grabbing just for the sake of it being attention grabbing, because the hook is going to determine who our ads get shown to. And so it's critical the hook also be relevant to the product, problem, or desire. Many people skip out on this. So people get the advice that, or what I typically see is you want to be attention grabbing, right? People understand this and then they start just taking these really out of context, wacky clips that are really attention grabbing, but they're not at all related to the product and the problem. Remember, our creative is designed to sell people on a product. And so we want to captivate people who are going to be interested in that product. We don't just want to capture everyone's attention. So many people skip this, so it's important you have really compelling visuals and auditory scenes that are intriguing, almost shocking, or just kind of weird or satisfying to look at. And then you pair that with some relevance to the actual product that you're selling. So Pet Lab Co. did a really good example of this, and I'm going to show you really quick with this. So I'm going to click onto this app here. Let's take a look at this creative so you can see an example of what a really awesome hook looks like. Okay, so they say, stop using home hacks for bad dog breath, and then take a look at the visual.
Stop using home hacks for bad dog breath. Use this.
So really, really like intriguing, kind of like, what are they even doing? Like, first of all, the scene is kind of a bit odd, but then
stop using home
pictures with coconut oil
hacks
being rubbed all over them, and it's almost like it's just this really weird kind of visual. It's just intriguing to look at, and you can see how if someone's on Facebook or Instagram and they're scrolling through their friends and they're seeing, friends on vacation, wedding photos, and then they just see this like coconut oil being rubbed on like dentures. It's just like totally weird and out of place, but there's a visually captivating element here that's intriguing, that makes people, kind of unconsciously, or that interrupts their unconscious scrolling. But then there's also this headline up here, and the visual is also related to what the rest of the ad is going to be about. And that, again, is critical. You cannot have attention grabbingness without the proper context to the product that you're selling. So they say, stop using home hacks for bad dog breath. And then this almost kind of looks like a hack that someone could be using for bad breath. So that is an example of a really good hook. So again, key elements here, you need something that's compelling and visually intriguing, almost like weird or just kind of disgusting to look at. And then you pair that with some sort of relevance to the actual problem or product that you're selling. Okay, so then now that we've gone over the hook, we then move into the body. And the body really has two main constituent elements. And again, these can manifest in a multitude of kind of infinite combinations, but really the body in some way, shape, or form is always going to come down to the solution and then the evidence. And the body of the ad is really like where the real selling begins. And most people mess up here and they just go straight into trying to introduce the product. And what you want to do instead is introduce the solution, quote unquote, and then use subsequent clips to substantiate your product does what you say it does. So typically people would do like something like this, meet the ultrasonic forehead extractor tool. And what you want to say is, this is the new fastest way to get rid of strawberry nose. And you can kind of see they're both the exact same thing. I mean, this technically is this product, but we're not saying the product straight away. We're just introducing this potential solution. And we haven't sold the product anything. The second the product name comes out, the people need to be ready to buy. Otherwise, you're just going straight into a sale. Think about like obnoxious car salespeople. If they just went up to you and just straight up said like, what car do you want to buy? Or let me introduce you to this car. Or do you like this one? This one, like they build rapport. They ask you what you're in the market for before they even get into any of those specifics, right? So same thing here. We say the solution, not the problem, or not the product. Okay. Once you've introduced the solution, you now need to substantiate how your product achieves the solution. So you need to provide evidence and explanations that give your video and product more authority. And the reason why this is so critical is that people are more skeptical than ever before these days. And if you make a claim, you need to back it up. So dropshipping is not this old or not this new innovative thing that no one's ever heard of, and you can just get away with making all these claims. People want proof, essentially. So you need to give value to your audience first before you ask them for value in return, right? So before you ask them for the sale, you need to give value as well. And the way you can do this is explaining how the product works. You can show people reacting to the benefits of the product. You can use testimonials of people reacting to themselves using the product, or you can explain how the product overcomes the problem in a new way. So if you have a very problem-solving product, then you can do an explanation. You can educate consumers about how this new method uses this weird loophole or uses this new kind of uncovered technique or kind of loophole in science to now deliver this solution in a way that's never been done before. But basically, you need to explain how the product overcomes the problem and do it so logically, right? And these are all ways to substantiate how your product does what you say it's going to. But in short, you basically need to explain with logic and or science how something works. So you explain to the person, okay, this is how it works. And then you also, number two, can have other people simply vouch for it. So basically, two ways to explain how your product does what you say it will is explaining logically how it does that, or having other people explain that it does that as well. And you can think about, like, if you've ever seen those commercials for ShamWow, if you guys remember that in the day, or the Slap Chop, where, in fact, why don't we just actually look it up really quick, because it's a perfect example of substantiating. So let's just do that really quick. All right, let's check this guy out.
Boost your revenue and drive growth with Google Ads. Reach high-value customers across.
Hi, it's Fitz with Slap Chop. You're going to be in a great mood all day because you're going to be slapping your troubles away with the Slap Chop. Now look, here's a potato. One slap, you got big slaps, home fries in a second. And look at this. But you add a mushroom.
It's really basic.
Finer it gets, you have to switch any grades. You love salad. Yeah.
Makes the claim right here in the beginning. You're going to be in a great mood all day because you're going to be slapping your troubles away with the Slap Chop. And then the whole rest of this is just explaining and showing evidence that this product does what he says it is. Like, it's the easiest way to get breakfast fast. You can chop things up really quickly, and it's all just visually demonstrating with logic and facts and evidence that the product does what this guy says it will. Okay, so now we get into the close. Okay, so just like in any sales environment, nothing matters without the close, or in other words, until you ask for the sale. So simply put, you need to always use urgency to get someone to take action now, right? Think to yourself, what can I say that will make someone feel like they need to drop everything and click now, right? So in sales, you always want to avoid the I need to think about it close, or the I need to think about it objection. And in sales, I need to think about it. There's all these ways to overcome it, because on a call, it's a really quick out or a really easy cop out for the buyer, right? They could just say, I just need time to think about it. But in a regular sales environment, you are there interacting with the person live, and you have opportunities to overcome that objection, right? Most of the time it's smoke and mirrors, and you're there live with the person, and you have multiple opportunities to overcome that objection. The problem is in e-com and with creative, you can't overcome those objections, right? So someone can just say, I need to think about it, and they can just scroll away, right? You don't get a chance to overcome that objection, or you don't get a chance to get them back, right? So you can think of the close in e-com as, think about every person that watches your video is eventually going to end with an I need to think about it. And the close is your opportunity to overcome that objection and instill enough urgency and fear of missing out that they feel like they just need to buy that thing now. And so typically what people do is they do click the link below to buy yours now. And no urgency, right? It's basically like in a sales call. So, do you want to buy this car? And they say, you know what, I need to think about it, right? So instead of saying click the link below to buy yours now, you need to instill a certain level of urgency. You can do this in multiple different ways. Even if you're not running any crazy offer, you can use certain keywords, like use the exclusive link below to get this specific deal. Or right now, the next 50 customers get a free gift with purchase. Or we've extended our promotion for another 24 hours, get it before it's too late. Basically, the keys to creating a very strong close or call to action with urgency is some type of exclusivity or some type of limited time or limited quantity. So either someone can only access something through that specific ad, making them feel like they can only get the deal now through that specific link, or basically saying we are doing this for a limited time, or we only have a limited number of units. And you can kind of see the major difference here, especially if you have a quantifiable deadline or timeline, or a quantifiable quantity of certain items. It can really bolster the amount of urgency that your creative has. And that is basically the entire framework. It's very, very simple. But essentially, to recap, you have the hook, which is just getting their attention. You have the body, which is showing them the product. And then within the body, you have the solution and the evidence. So presenting, once you have their attention, presenting a specific solution, and then showing with evidence how your product delivers on that solution. And then very simply, just a close, having a call to action with a certain amount of urgency, such that people can't think about it. They need to buy it now, or else there are going to be consequences. So that is the complete 3-step framework for creative. If you follow this framework, I guarantee that you will see like a major improvement in success rate in your product testing. Most of the time, guys, when people have product tests that go wrong, it's almost always because their creative sucks. Most people can put together a landing page. And in fact, in my course, I actually have a templated landing page built out to completely eliminate that as a variable. But 9 times out of 10, it's because your creative sucks. And your creative not only needs to get someone's attention, but it needs to sell someone a product. So understanding this framework and then implementing it into your creatives is going to drastically impact your success rate on tests and make it such that you don't have to keep sifting through product research tools and building out stores and things like that. Focus on creating a good creative, understanding this framework, and then implementing it and executing on it. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and got a ton of value out of it. I love creative, so I really enjoyed making this video. Now, really quick, if you guys want to get access to my complete Shopify dropshipping masterclass, that shows you step-by-step how to build and scale your first dropshipping business to $100,000 per month. The first link in the description of this video is going to give you a link to my community on School, God to Your Ecom. We got the complete masterclass here that shows you step-by-step how to find the product, build the store, make the creative, launch and test and scale the ads. Then we also have multiple weekly Q&As every single week. We got 3 right now. And if you join right now, you get access to a free one-on-one coaching call. And there's also a ton of onboarding gifts. So literally thousands of dollars worth of free paid themes, shared spy tool accounts, other resources, access to my private supplier. And then lastly, if you join today, you get access to a free one-on-one coaching call with myself. And on top of that, there is a 45-day money-back guarantee. So 14-day money-back guarantee. So you can try the community out for 13 days. And if you hate it, you can get your money back. So looking forward to seeing some of you guys inside the community. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.